Religion is excellent stuff for keeping common people quiet. Religion is what keeps the poor from murdering the rich. Napoleon Bonaparte. Good day, everyone. Today on Religion, I will be discussing the marriage of reason to dogma and sophistry, specifically here in relation to religion, discussing the slipping of the gold-gilded iron shackle of circularity around the mind of an infallible, perceptual lenses loving followers. The many religions of the world, Islam, Hinduism, any of the infinite sorts of paganism, purist capitalism or communism, Nazism, and on, all implement themselves in a rather formulaic manner. Any such ideology which inflicts upon those who drink in the Kool-Aid a strict lens that cannot be questioned, that contains no flaws, that has the answer to all questions, makes you a truly great person, and justifies any act, so long as it is done in the name thereof. All rely upon the peak of one ongoing event: indoctrination. From Merriam-Webster Dictionary, indoctrination is 1. To instruct especially in fundamentals or rudiments. Teach. 2. To imbue with a usually partisan or sectarian opinion, point of view, or principle. Purist, supremacist thought is instilled into the individual by the process of indoctrination. Oftentimes, this sequence is subtle and normalized within the communities one inhabits, but becomes no less ripe for abuse. Most commonly, this is done by melding the everyday experience with the particular mindset, modus operandi, or overall culture of a given ideology. Though this is not the exclusive means, as evidenced by those whom seek out membership and embrasure of a self-justifying doctrine and its associated fellowship. In any event, the steps by which the cocooning of one's sight are as follows. Introduction of doubt. As children born into the localities of influence, doubt is inherent, as they hold yet only an elementary understanding of reality as it stands. As such, it is most simple to reform any foundational conceptualization which they may hold. As more mature individuals, one is presented with claim preceding claim of which cites itself as fact, counter to their slippery understanding of a given subject. Dependent on how convincing, new ideas to the individual and consistently raise these questions and following answers are, the bedrock of one's understanding is slowly but surely shifted. Erection of framework. Once one's base grasp of the world is sufficiently cracked, ground, and swept away, a new concrete foundation is poured and allowed to set. Once the basis of a belief system is fortified, the framework of one's outlook upon the world is slowly built. Dots previously unconnected are tied together. Examples of the veracity of the most holy truth are fabricated from articles of one's experience, and the painting of said truth is jacketed an adamantium of justness and ultimate righteousness, all set in motion. This is the turning point of the enlistee as to where their loyalties lie. It is here where the most care must be taken by both the persuader and their opposition, for failure on either side will drive the now halfway candidate to the other. Completion and furnishing. The newly blooded agent of the order has been admitted. Relationships, lifestyle, daily activity, dictionary, passions, aspirations, and pride have now been properly seated within the mind of the newfound settlement. The individual is now a devoted comrade, advocate, believer, and born-again man or woman. Their underlying personality has completed its metamorphosis, and the tinted lenses of the one truth are now grafted in front of their eyes. It is mightily unlikely, but not impossible, that the freshly founded fortification will be upturned in future, so long as it is maintained. And as one most often during this process nestles themselves within a framework of fellow believers, the purity of thought is nurtured by oneself and their brothers and sisters in cause. The order of indoctrination is most often a fluid one, and may range from a quick conversion to a very gradual one. Oft, for those that are not brought in from a young age, the beginning is actuated in a time where emotions run high. Hopelessness, a strong feeling of being lost, virulent disdain for events or systems involving or related to them and their person, loss of a person, object, or possession of great importance, and others all make for fertile ground to the cultivation of indoctrination. This is especially the case if one has previously passingly or vaguely identified with a similar or same system of belief. Once one is turned into but one brick in a great wall, their will becomes anchored, often with the consequence of violence, subterfuge, or excommunication of their kin should they move away from the religion. They become a fine tool of its leaders. They have submitted themselves to the holy motivations of the cause and thereby become either active or passive assets with which to be commanded. The role of preacher, tither, missionary, inquisitor, scribe, and more become available to the now aspiring convertee. Their mind is given peace through the answers to the questions that trouble them of the world, which may be presented by, with certainty, if not their fellow followers, their all-knowing leaders. The belief itself within the congregation is the absolute truth, because the texts and events and people show it is the absolute truth, because the absolute truth is the absolute truth, because within the congregation, the absolute truth is absolute. They have found all they need. To cap the end of this, I will quote a section of Plutarch's On Listening to Lectures from Wikipedia. "The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled." To which the passage follows, "The correct analogy for the mind is not a vessel that needs filling, but wood that needs igniting, no more, and then it motivates one towards originality and instills the desire for truth. Suppose someone were to go and ask his neighbors for fire and find a substantial blaze there, and just stay there continually warming himself. That is no different from someone who goes to someone else to get some of his rationality and fails to realize that he ought to ignite his own flame, his own intellect, but is happy to sit, entranced by the lecture, and the words trigger only associative thinking and bring, as it were, only a flush to his cheeks and a glow to his limbs. But he has not dispelled or dispersed in the warm light of philosophy the internal dank gloom of his mind." Thank you all for listening. Whether you found my content enjoyable or detestable, please give a thumbs up or down, share the video with others, subscribe, and contribute to the discussion via my social media and the comments below. If you'd like to support my channel, help me produce videos, and engage with you all with more frequency, or show your appreciation, I would petition you to become my patron via Patreon, or donate via the PayPal link in the description below. The link to my page where you may accomplish this and receive rewards based on the amount donated is listed in the description below. Till then, everyone, this has been Xilver with a Z.